Here we go. Hey guys, what's going on? This is the sixth episode of the Bitter Jury podcast, and we're here tonight to review the Eviction episode of Big Brother Canada 6. You're here with Kelly.
I'm Jacob.
What's up? My name's Lucifer.
I'm Daniel.
All right, guys. We should definitely kick things off by talking about Ryan and his tumultuous reign. Since you weren't here last week, what do you think, Daniel?
Oh, I think that it was indeed tumultuous. Oh my gosh. There's so many things to say, but I think I actually want to start off talking about a really interesting opinion I have about Ryan.
Okay.
That
we'll see
everything that has happened this week came down to him not having the foresight to lose the HOH. He should have thrown the HOH and never put himself in this position because he had an impossible choice. He has 3 quasi-allies. One of them he knows is a huge target for this week, right? Or this past week, which is Andrew. And so you putting in yourself where you're already having to put up one of your allies and making that decision, I don't like it. I think that if he would have had a more foresight looking into it, it would have been a lot better for him in his game to just never be HOH this week.
But he's the best player ever to play the game, dude. He's got so many hours of watch time, man.
He has over 800 hours. Jacob, put some respect on his name.
Yeah, okay. 800 hours.
Yeah, I feel like he's getting a little glossy-eyed with that one. Yeah,
definitely. So if you could rewind the week, you would advise him to throw it. Do you think he would actually do that?
Not necessarily throw it, but definitely when it just came down to the one-on-one, definitely be the first to buzz in and give yourself a better shot of not being at it, just because it's not good for his game. And that's been apparent throughout this entire week. He's blown up what little part of his game that he has left, and it's kind of sad because I really like Ryan.
Ryan is one of my favorites, and I'm so sad for him. But I think you're right. Go ahead, Kelly.
100%.
So what I was going to say is I don't think that even if you were to advise Ryan to be like, hey, it's a bad idea to go and do this, like I don't think that Ryan would take that advice because his goal was to try to get in with the popular people, which is, I think that's like the red room. And so that's what he was trying to do. So it just totally fell apart for him. Like he went about it completely the wrong way. But I think that he super wanted to have it, and he wouldn't have seen, like, even if you had tried to warn him, he would have been like, no, that's not going to work. I'm so knowledgeable in this game. I know exactly what to do. And that's where his downfall is. His apparent overload of knowledge of this game.
Right. Yeah. And all I'm saying is that either way, he shouldn't have won HOH. That would have been far better for his game.
I do agree with that 100%.
Yeah. So, and that leads into the other decisions that he's made. So I kind of want to talk about those.
Sure, go ahead.
All right, I talk about them. I think the first one that I had a really big issue with was him deciding out of nowhere with no like visible support, even from the feeds that I saw. You can fact check me on this, Lou. But he had no support for a back door. And even when he went and like, because that was his plan, was like, okay, now I have Hamza and I have Andrew, my 2 closest allies. Now I have to look for a back door. I got this. And so he goes to all these people like, you should throw. And
that's kind of what I touched on yesterday. I think the move was just completely sloppy in itself. It was absolutely ridiculous. In order to even have a successful backdoor, you have to have a sense of trust, or like Vanessa Russo would say, you have to incentivize towards people's games. You can't do it so early. And then especially after you put up 2 people that the house wants out, it's almost hard to even get that backdoor option. You know, everyone wants, all those numbers want one of those 2 people out either way. So it was a ridiculous, preposterous. I just did not get the logic behind any of that.
Yeah.
Any thoughts, Kelly?
Oh, no, I totally agree. Like, I think that probably his best move, if Ryan still wanted to try to get in with the popular people, would have been to put up only Andrew or only actually probably because Hamza said that he wanted to go up. So only put up Hamza and then put up someone else and then be like, okay, there's so many people in this game, the likelihood that Andrew's going to be picked to play in veto is so little that Will will be able to backdoor him. That way he won't even have a chance. Yeah. And then worked his way from there. So I think like the fact that basically what Lou was saying, he lost all of his leverage as soon as he put up the house's target. Like the house has no reason now to want to backdoor anyone, because why would you? The target's already up there.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I think about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that would have been a lot smarter. I actually like that. And say I'm going to put up Ryan, and then you put up Olivia. That'd be interesting. But then so, well, maybe not. That would have been a really interesting reality.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it would have been a much better reality than what we've had, but that's just more of a comment on how I've thought of this season so far on the smart ideas of the move.
I love the dynamics. I think the dynamics are so complex, and I like that people are consistently thinking about what other people are going to do, because I mean, I can't really keep up with all the alliances and deals, and now they're kind of starting to overlap a little bit, which is kind of interesting. And we love seasons like that.
Yeah. So we've talked about sort of, if we could rewind the week, what we would want to see happen. But since we can't do that, since we're not all powerful, let's talk about Ryan.
Don't speak for me.
Kelly might be all powerful. We're not too sure yet. But let's talk about how Ryan tried to sort of make the house flip on Hamza. What do you guys think about that effort?
Okay, so like it really annoyed me, because he talks about how he wants to keep creating all this chaos, and I'm just like, Ryan, why are you doing this? Like no one is gonna take you seriously whatsoever. And so what he should have done was go in and probably try to say, yeah, let's get Andrew out, because since no one's taking him seriously, maybe they might start to think, hey, maybe this isn't such a good idea. But when he goes in and is like, guys, we need to flip the vote. We need to get Hamza out. He's obviously the stronger player. Although those are the right words, he has no what's the word? Like when you can trust what someone is saying, that what they're saying is like reliable.
Oh, he has no trust equity.
Yeah, he has no trust equity. He has no political value, currency, or whatever. Yeah. So I just like, once again, he's saying the right words, but because it's coming from him, like no one's gonna take him seriously. So it's kind of all really blown up in his face.
Yeah, after his failed throw the veto comp and we'll backdoor whoever I want. Once that fails, you do not mix the pot at all, ever. But he did, and now he has this giant red X right where his beard should be, and it's all sorts of sad.
Yeah, it does make me sad. So let's move on to a player that doesn't make me so sad and talk a little bit about one of my new favorite house guests. Let's talk about Paris. What do you guys think about Paris? We had a little bit of insight into her motivations this episode. What did you guys think?
Love Paris. Who swooped up Paris? That was me in our draft. I loved it. Okay, so honestly, I'm liking her dynamic with Jesse, because I think that he seems like a very genuine guy. He doesn't seem like he's going to be in the game of backstabbing girls and, breaking their heart sort of thing for a showmance. He seems like he really does care about her. At least that's what I get from the feeds, and the feeds are the most genuine thing you can get. So I like that she wants to keep it a secret. I think that's very, very smart. But I feel like Olivia, that whole thing on the episode tonight, I feel like that could get very, very messy very quick, especially because Olivia does strike me as someone that's very jealous. And if she notices that Paris is talking to Jesse like once a day in a room by herself, she's going to pick something up, and it's not going to be too good for Paris.
So let me ask you, do you think that creates sort of the two sides of the house, like two different sides of the house?
I think it will, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
The two sides meaning like Paris versus Olivia?
Yeah, Paris.
So like the outsiders.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's okay, so I feel like the house is kind of broken down by like, everyone in the red room, which are what Will says are the cool kids, even though he quote unquote called himself the cool kid. But he says that that's more of like Jesse and Kayla and Derek, Allie and Johnny, Veronica and Erica, and that's like that niche right there. And then the outsiders are more of like everyone that's not in that little clique. click pretty much. So.
Yeah. So how do you see in the next couple of weeks? How do you see this red room versus white room dynamic playing out? And we'll throw this to all three of you, but we'll start with Lou since he loves dynamics.
What I personally think is going to happen, so I think that room is broken down into, you have to realize who has each other's back. So I think that that's two alliances right there, and they form that majority of the house. So I think the two alliances in the red room are broken down by like Jesse. It's Jesse, Derek, and Kayla. Kayla's in the middle with Johnny, Allie, and Erica. So
Okay.
that's kind of where I feel, and that's where, yeah.
Yeah. So what are the targets for that group of four then? Just everybody in the white room?
Yeah, I feel like at this point right now they want to focus on getting out Ryan. I think that they want to focus on getting out Marin because he seems to be a gate crasher. I think Veronica's name has been tossed in there with Allie, even though she's playing cool with that group. She's on the bottom of the totem pole in that group at all. So I think and she's actually spoken to Paris about wanting to go after Olivia. So I think that she's just playing cool with them, but when she's ready to make a move, she's going to make a move on that room.
Okay. What are your thoughts, Daniel?
I think like in regards to Veronica, I think she has something of an end to that group because she's pretty tight with Erica. Her and Erica have had some really interesting conversations on the feeds that I feel has really grown them pretty close. And as we've seen throughout the episodes and the feeds, that Erica gets emotionally attached to people pretty quickly, but also that she doesn't have like too much of a qualm of like doing what's best for her game. So I mean.
Yeah.
But
so do you think, Daniel, that the comparison between Erica and shoot poker player from BB17, do you think that's fair? Vanessa. Yeah, like they're both very
How
emotional.
dare you forget Vanessa's name?
Yeah, I know, it's so sad. But do you think there's a connection there that they're both very highly emotional and but both very logical at the same time?
yeah, if we're just taking it from that like kind of a base value, then yeah.
Okay.
I think that Erica has a lot of feelings or however you want to put it.
Sure.
But she's really good at controlling them and doing what's best for her game. So
yeah, absolutely.
I do want to say that it was pretty cool during the Tomb Raider screening that Erica brought Hamza with her. I thought that was a really good move on her part because Hamza's obviously the one who's going to be staying in the house this week, so it seemed like she was trying to do some damage control with him being up on the house and potentially, like, not that he would be going home, but the fact that he potentially could be going home. I thought that was really smart on her.
Yeah, I feel like she's very good at grabbing allies. She doesn't seem to upset too many people. And so I think her social game is probably her strongest asset at this point. And I think it really is kind of smart to pull in somebody who is a grenade like Hamza tends to be, and try to sort of rein him in a little bit.
No, yeah, I like it. And he's usually in the white room, but this week obviously he's in the have-nots. But I think that was also a cool little thing of like kind of quasi bridging that gap too, having an ally in the white room as well. I think that was really smart of her.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that she is playing one of the best games at this point, just based off of her social game. And I'd be very happy if I were you, Daniel, that you
I am
that you picked her first in the draft, and I want to congratulate you on that because everybody else had her down at the bottom of drafts, and
boo.
You were
not with us. To be clear, like not with us. You're talking about everyone outside
all
of
the other big.
four of us.
Anyways,
yeah.
Are we talking about Veronica?
Erica.
Erica.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely had Erica very high on my list.
Yeah, and it's got to feel good that your analysis was on point. I mean, we all sort of agreed, but yeah, fantastic.
We'll see how that works out later, but
yeah, absolutely. So far, she's on a good roll. Anything else we want to talk about Erica about?
Yeah, dude, she's playing. I think honestly, Erica. I think I'm so glad she's safe, even though I feel like she'd be safe kind of either way because she has a really good social game. But I like that she's in a good position in the house. It makes me excited, and I think that it's not by mistake how some players kind of get there just by their social game. I think that she's strategically thinking about what she's doing and who she's aligning with. So I love it.
Cool. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about yeah, I'll just open it up to you guys. What do you guys want to talk about next in the episode?
I think that we should talk about the house meeting. Like that was a pretty huge part, and as we all know, house meetings go spectacularly in Big Brother. So before the house meeting, I think that Ryan was kind of like down here and Fleur was up here, but then afterward it seemed like she kind of just ran out of steam and Ryan kind of flipped it. So I got the feeling that Ryan really benefited from that house meeting because he basically called her out when she called him out. She was like, hey, you're trying to get us to flip the vote. And he's like, well, what do you expect? I wanted to like do what the house wants, and what do I get in return? I get pooped on. I get totally used. And so like I'm really upset right now. And so I think that I don't think that it benefited Fleur at all doing that.
Really? I actually disagree on that. I think that was an incredibly strong move for Veronica. And also she's part of my draft. And so, hey, because that painted another big red X on Ryan. And I feel like him being combative and like, I was trying to save my game and all this other stuff. And I feel like that's more of like okay, so you're going to just be this manipulative with this much knowledge, just trying to save this one person. I feel like it makes a really easy target out of Ryan. I feel like if he would have, you know what? I'm not sure there's anything he could have said to take that target off him even a little. Even just being like, yeah, I know, I'm sorry and stuff. But like being more combative, I feel plays really poorly for his game.
Yeah,
well, I mean, haven't we already? Sorry, Jacob, but haven't we already like seen this from Ryan like throughout this whole week? Like he's been very assertive for the nominations. He's been very assertive pre-veto. He's been very assertive for trying to get the vote to flip. So I don't think that us seeing him being assertive again is really doing anything. Versus calling her out, like it makes it seem like, okay, guys, you know exactly what I've done, but I don't need like this whole like ganging up on me and being like, you did a bad job. Like that makes me feel really bad. That's why I think that that in the end that Ryan did benefit from this.
Yeah, I happen to, and this doesn't happen very often either. I happen to wholeheartedly agree with Daniel at this point. I think that Veronica, I think
Whatever,
that
I stand by my statement.
no,
That's fine.
That's totally fine. I'm just saying, like, I think that that Ryan really hurt himself when he could have just been like, "I'm sorry," like, you know, and I tried to make a big move and it didn't work out. And I'm from Calgary, and that's how we play. But he didn't do that. He said, "Hey, I need to save my game," and that's a lot of political capital to put on one player, and to put that all in Andrew just seems to be a huge mistake when the whole house doesn't trust Andrew.
Exactly, and also another thing of just saying like I had to save my game to the entire house. Your game is done. As soon as you say stuff like that, like, oh yeah, we know you're alone, but you just admitted that you know you're alone, and it's just, anyways.
Yeah, I don't see how he gains any sort of goodwill with anybody in the house from this point on. I think he's probably one of the next out, and that makes me very sad because I lost Andrew tonight. And I'm gonna lose Ryan very soon, I feel like.
That's what I'm saying. It's tragic, and you can't. It's almost like you want to feel sad, but you can't because they're doing it to themselves.
Yeah,
they really are, and especially Ryan having so much knowledge in this game about this game. I think that he should have stepped back a little bit and really assessed the situation a lot more.
Yeah,
that's the problem with super fans. The majority of super fans.
No, it's the truth.
When they go in, because they're usually people that they aren't super social and they aren't able to continue to have those just random conversations forever and ever. So they start to think a lot and then they overplay so fast. That's what got Shannon out last during BB Can or Celebrity Big Brother.
Alex from BBOTT.
Yeah, like just
Alex.
that's what you see almost every single time.
No, Kelly, that's a really, really, really good point that you make up because I feel like super fans completely overthink the situation sometimes, not all the time. I mean, I feel like they tend to want to be more strategic and they forget that the social aspect is a very important aspect. You have to be laid back where people don't think that you're consistently thinking and manipulating and making deals. No one wants to feel that you're doing that because everyone knows that that's already occurring in the house. So it's like the more discretion you have, the better it is to just to have random conversations, I feel. And super fans tend to overthink it. That's how I feel like I would play. I'd be too much. It'd be too much stress.
Yeah, just always thinking about the game, and that gets you in big trouble.
And
Exactly.
what makes me particularly sad about that is that Ryan could have been in a good spot if he would have stuck to talking about sports with the boys and like sort of being this really chill older dude type figure and not played so hard so early. I think he would be in a really good spot in this house.
Agreed, 100%.
And that's why I think that Maddie's doing so well because I mean it was revealed on the show tonight. She's like one of the biggest fans of this show. She's a really huge super fan, but she's playing it really chill. She told people that she hasn't even watched BB Cam 1, yet she definitely has.
Flashcards.
Yeah, she has flashcards. So like she's done all these things to prepare herself, but she's still playing like under the radar. She's not letting anyone know that she's a super fan, and that's exactly what you should be doing.
Yeah,
so really like that. It's kind of interesting seeing like two super fans where we know like we're seeing one version play out versus another version play out. So that's really cool.
I know, I'm loving it.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a quick comparison with Maddie, and I'm curious if you guys agree, but the way that Maddie's playing the game so far reminds me of how Kevin played the game during BB Can 5, where she's doing all this preparation, but it's not, and she's not making waves in the house. Do you guys see that comparison at all? Is there anything going forward that makes you think that she could have similar successes to Kevin in terms of using her braininess to win the game?
See, for me, it's really hard to make comparisons unless like the format, alludes to like a certain situation. Like if someone has to use a veto to do a certain thing, or someone has to get this vote. So it's hard for me to compare like players, especially when I don't know too much about Maddie's game. I know that she's playing it very low key right now. I absolutely love that her and Paris have a good working relationship, especially with Will, who are all three on my draft. So it's like that could be a great thing for me, or that could be a really awful thing for me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
I was just go ahead, Jacob.
So I'll give you a little bit more context to that, and maybe that'll help you understand why I'm making the comparison.
Yeah.
I just see her talking to the camera a lot, which is something Kevin did a lot in talking about his strategy, and then sort of taking time to be by herself and really analyze the game in a place that nobody can see her doing it. It kind of reminds me of Kevin's sprinkle puzzles for the days and something like that. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, that definitely makes sense.
Let's hope that she keeps playing that way then.
I agree.
Absolutely. I'm a big fan. So yeah, I think we talked about.
I'm sorry, really quick. I love
ahead.
that she was the girl that said in her interviews before the house that she wanted a showmance, and she's one of the girls that is not connected to a guy's, which I think is really fascinating.
Yeah, she said she was definitely going to get into showmance, and she was going to use the crap out of that showmance.
Right.
And I love that she's able to adapt. I think that's one of my favorite characteristics about her. She's adapted to where the game has placed her, and I think that's why she's in a pretty good spot right now.
Well, and also, kind of all the guys are already taken.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's Kayla and Derek, right?
Yep. Correct.
And then we have Paris and Jesse
and Olivia.
And then Olivia's like, oh, me too. And Paris is like, yeah, that's fine. And then she's like, oh, I hate myself. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting with that triangle going.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like no one. I mean, Hamza's open, I guess.
Hamza doesn't like to be touched, though. And
that's true. And Maddie strikes me as a touchy-feely person.
And Hamza's married, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that Hamza's taken.
It's Big Brother.
Absolutely.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. Anything else stick out to you guys about this episode that we haven't touched on so far?
So Paris, Jesse, and Derek, they're in an alliance. Wasn't talked about in the episode, but during the voting, they did the money sign.
Thing.
Yeah.
Dollar bills, y'all. Like
thought that was interesting.
they're super in an alliance.
I love Paris. She is so smart.
Yeah. I'm excited to see where that goes because I barely know Derek or Jesse.
She's so smart. Oh my gosh, she is so smart. She really is in like so many people. She has a lot of people in her back pocket, and I love this right now.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I think actually since you sort of segued us to the vote, let's talk about that, Kelly. We saw a unanimous vote. Is anybody surprised that we saw a unanimous vote tonight?
I'm
not even a little bit.
I'm shocked.
What?
Andrew's social game was amazing. It was amazing. His social game.
Did you see how hard he was campaigning for himself?
Oh man, oh man.
I mean,
so I think that man,
it's funny because I feel like when he was campaigning in the episode when he was campaigning to Allie was like slowly getting up, like, okay, well, I'll see what I can do.
Sure.
She's like, I got you.
I feel like Andrew just he's like a professional at making everybody uncomfortable in the house.
Oh my gosh.
And outside of the house, because I was very uncomfortable watching it.
I think my most uncomfortable in this entire not episode, but season that I've ever felt was Andrew just staring at Erica.
Right.
Yeah.
And
was
why
being
does he
like,
feel like why does he feel like he has to say, Canada, I'm your boy? Like, no, you're not our boy. Like, no, what makes you the boy? Like, why?
Yeah. Like
overconfident, like we said at the very beginning. He'll blow himself up most likely.
Yeah, I thought Hamza would do that before Andrew though. But
I agree.
But yeah, I mean I feel like he sort of played a very unprofessional game. Like he's not gonna come out to any job offers. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I feel like he played a very sort of a game where Canada, if Canadians booed, then he should have been booed. You know, if Canadians were going to boo anybody, I feel like he should have been booed going out of the house.
Especially with his exit.
Oh my gosh, that was sad.
So disrespectful.
But I mean,
so disrespectful.
Oh yeah, that exit was. I mean, that was just ridiculous. But I mean, Canada and I feel like America and Canada like the villain. We like to keep that people in the house to stir up the pot. But I feel like that early, it's distasteful all around.
Right.
Oh, so, yeah, I agree. We like villains, but we like smart villains. Not people who are just like,
you have to be able to stir the pot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. I think, his game just imploded when he decided to be like this aggressive alpha male and without really any backup. And so, do you guys think that it all comes down to a bad social game for him? Or
yes,
I think he came into a bad initial plan because that was his initial plan to be like the one stirring up the pot and stuff. And a few people said that. Him and Ryan both said that they wanted to come in and start the pot and be a big stuff.
And Hamza, right?
Hamza, but I feel like Hamza, after seeing how heavy those guys were going, especially after the first week, has backed off a lot from
kind of like how Paul did in BB-18.
Yeah,
right. Just like, whoa, this is not the right plan right now. And I award the pencil a number 3 designation for that one.
He's been upgraded. Okay, perfect.
I think it's an upgrade. I don't know how pencils work.
He's now a mechanical pencil.
Hey.
But yeah, I think that's pretty smart. I mean, I think that Hamza's in a really good spot, and I feel like this sort of aggression out of those 3 people could get themselves in a lot of trouble, especially Ryan in the next couple of weeks.
Is Marin the pencil or is Hamza the pencil?
Hamza was
the pencil.
That's just rude. He's not a pencil.
He's becoming less pencil-y.
Exactly. And
that's what I'm saying. I've upgraded him.
And Arissa kind of threw me off because she was like Hamza. So is it Hamza or Hamza?
It's Hamza.
Hamza. We're just silly.
We've just changed the whole game. Hamza. We've just changed it all. That's the first twist of the season.
He's not as ham anymore.
For the second.
Yeah.
No longer going ham.
Yeah. But we do have his reality show, Hams and the Cams. What do we think about Hams and the Cams, you guys? Have you guys been
Love
watching Hams and the Cams?
I have
I'm
not
not.
been watching Hams and the Cams. I didn't even know that was a thing until this very moment.
He's
Yay.
like pulling house guests aside to interview them, ET Canada style. It's fantastic.
awesome.
Like
Uh,
Dominique last year?
No. He's just like talking to his wife and like talking about like food in the house and just random stuff.
Okay.
He's trying to get himself a nice little talk show deal after this, I think.
Yeah, I think he wants
Pretty
to be, I feel like he wants to be Canada's favorite house guest.
he's up there for me too.
He's climbing.
Higher than
For
Paris?
sure, for me.
Really higher than Paris?
I mean, no, of course not.
I feel
He's
like
climbing. He's
I
not
feel
the bottom.
I feel like
He's my
For
second though, for sure.
entertainment- I feel like for entertainment value after the what was her name? The first person to leave after she left.
Rosina.
Yeah, after she
How
left,
dare you?
he's taking over the Entertainment Tonight sort of role in the house. I really like watching him go crazy, so I hope he continues to do that, at least on the feeds.
Hey, if Ica can do it, Hamza can do it.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Okay, I have a question for you guys.
Sure.
So, who do you think is going to be other than Ryan? Who do you think is going to be targeted next?
Okay, so let me just so we've just discussed sort of the eviction, correct? So
Yeah.
10-0, and then do you guys know who HOH is? Do you guys want
I
to
have not looked that up. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
We
You know
will
what?
not discuss it on this podcast.
You don't want to? Oh, no.
No.
Okay.
It's not the podcast for that discussion. We can have a secondary podcast.
Okay.
Spoilers. How's that?
Okay.
Yeah.
How about that?
Fair?
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll do a spoilers podcast.
Okay, Lou, you can't say anything about this then, because I feel like
Well,
that'll
No, we can still say.
Yeah,
We'll just
because
be
it's still
right.
the same. Yeah, it's still the same no matter who was HOH, honestly.
It's pretty true.
So, I mean, I'm gonna kick it off by saying the obvious. I think the gate crashers are the next easiest target, and also, well, you said except for Ryan. So I think,
yeah.
Ryan aside, I think the gate crashers are the easiest targets, the blood-free targets.
Yep.
So I wouldn't be surprised to see one of them on the block next week.
I agree.
What
what
would
do
be a good? What about you, Daniel?
I really want to disagree. I really want to see like Olivia go up.
I feel
But-
like that's a very high possibility if someone's willing to make a ballsy move. That's
Right.
very high possibility.
Right.
would be
And
happy with
I'm gonna make my guess Olivia and Ryan, actually. I think I'm gonna do that way.
Yay.
There we
I
go.
would, I would be happy with something like that, just because. I mean, I don't. In case it's not clear, I don't necessarily like the most obvious choice.
Right.
I want them to dig a little deeper. So I think that it'd be cool to have someone like Olivia, or maybe even one of the guys. I know that no one's really stuck out yet because they're all, other than Hamza, like they're all pretty similar. But maybe going after Will is the only one that's not like in a showman's,
He
right?
wants to be, but he's
Well,
not.
he's quasi. Who likes Will? I don't remember.
Oh, that's right.
Veronica.
Veronica likes Will. That's
Veronica
right.
likes
That's right.
Will.
Because she
Yeah.
bit his
He
nipple.
bit his
Yeah.
nipple, yeah.
I remember now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's all sorts of ties going all sorts of which way. It's really
I
interesting.
feel like Paris likes Will more than Jesse. That's what I feel.
Oh my goodness. This just became The Bachelor, you guys. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Why
but
would
that's
you
just
feel
kind
this
of how
way?
Well, so like even with their game talk, and it's funny because my roommate, like while I was watching the feed, she kind of walked in and she's like, "That girl likes him." I'm like, "Oh, that's what I was kind of feeling too," and she kind of sensed it just through like a couple minutes of game talk. So I don't know. And then she the way that I feel, I don't know. I feel like it could go anywhere. Really, it could go anywhere. It's a Big Brother house.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a really dangerous game for Paris to be playing.
I know, but she's
Well,
It's
playing it.
she needs to back up, like just with the triangle alone between her and what's his name and Olivia, like that. With Olivia being like, "Hey, are you into what's his name?" And then she's like, "No, you can totally go for it." And then seeing her, I know that we already touched on this, but seeing Olivia seeing them like on the bed or near the beds with each other.
They were on
Oh,
the bed
man.
together, yeah.
They're like being on the bed together. Like it just sends the wrong message, and that's what creates like long lasting
I'm gonna target
frustrations.
you, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
all Paris has to do is tell Jesse, "Hey, we had this conversation.
Jesse, there
Just
we
shoot
go.
her down, and that's
Call
she
it
said
good, yeah.
leave."
Cool. Well,
You
I'm
know?
happy that Erica's safe, so she's not going up
Me
next
too.
week. So
Yeah.
Um,
I would like to say, Jacob, that your prediction was wrong this week.
Because she couldn't compete.
Still wrong.
Who cares? You're always wrong. Always. Who has lost both of their contestants thus far?
You know what? Actually, Kelly's also lost one.
Okay,
Have
yeah,
I?
one.
Did I? Who did I lose? I forgot.
You lose Rosina?
Rosina.
No,
No,
that
that
was
was me.
Lou.
Oh,
that
that
was
was Lou.
me.
Never mind.
Lou.
Sorry.
You know
Okay.
what?
I am wrong about everything.
Leave Rosina alone.
Um, no, okay, so I just thought of this. If anybody is going to make a crazy, unpredictable move, it would be Hamza, I think.
Absolutely.
So,
Yep.
what do you guys think about these two potential noms? What about putting Dela on the block?
Perfect.
Oh
You-
man, that would be pretty like
That
would
will
be
not
pretty
go
big.
over well.
It won't go over well.
I agree. It wouldn't go
Red
over
Room
well.
Alliance? Nah. You don't
But
put.
okay, so here's what we have to think of. So we do have like red versus white right now.
Mm-hmm.
So like let's say that we have those two and then one falls down, then you have to put someone else from the red room up. But Hansa has to be able to get the white room together for this week, for this to work. So that way he has a smaller target next week.
Yep.
That's even
How
if he gets HOH.
And I haven't really
Yeah.
even seen Hamza and Paris really talk too in depth about planning anything like that. So that'd be interesting too, because that would be two forces that would need to get together in order for this move to happen.
So yeah,
Right.
I think I think it might be a good idea if that were possible. If Hamza can pull off the HOH, I think that targeting a showmance is probably one of his strongest moves. I don't know if he can do it just because of the way the house is laid out right now, but I would like to see that more than I would like to see an Olivia nom. I think that would cause more waves, and I think he would be just the kind of person that would be able to play it off after the noms were made. Like,
Unless, of course, he was looking to backdoor Ryan. That's the only way I sanction this play.
I really hope that he doesn't do that. Like, if he ends up being HOH, I think because if you want to create chaos, you don't go after the most obvious target.
Yeah.
Like you go after bigger players. But like we said before, he's been knocked down a peg or two because of this week. So if he is HOH, then maybe he would just want to go more with the flow.
Yeah, I think that if Hamza is HOH, I think that it'd be smart. I would understand if he puts up Ryan, because he could still potentially swing the outsiders' votes, because he does have enough. If you think about it, because the people that would be voting against or for Olivia to stay would just be Derek, Kaylee. I feel like Paris could convince Jesse to vote against her. So I don't know. I feel like the votes wouldn't really be there too much for Olivia, but who knows? I don't know. I feel like there is going to be a big move this week, and I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, I really hope it's Olivia that goes up. Olivia with Ryan, and they kick out Olivia. I think that would be my favorite episode. My favorite plan.
Agreed.
It's so funny because like we don't even really know that much about Olivia. And yet,
Exactly. Get her out of here. She's boring.
Want her out.
She's boring.
Well,
Get her out.
I know where her stance is in the game, and I feel like she is in a powerful alliance with Johnny and Erica and Allie, and you don't want to see those people steamroll through the other players, and I just want that nipped in the butt early before it gets too deep in the game.
Right.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point. Any other thoughts, you guys, before we say goodbye until Monday?
I think to wrap this one up, we should go over our drafts again.
Okay.
Because it's been a while since we talked about our drafts, and I feel like this is going to be very important to all of us.
Of course.
Mainly because mine's looking the best, is all I'm saying.
Okay, and then who are your drafts, Daniel?
My draft is Erica,
Shout
Derek, Jesse, and Veronica.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. I
have written on here that I have Erica. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right.
No, wait, guys. I have written down that I have Erica. So
Weird.
I'm the
Check
only
the
one.
tape.
I'm the only one that's not gonna say that they have Erica because I don't.
So I have Will, Paris, and Maddie who are actually all together in an alliance, and it's awesome. So yeah.
Well, you also had Rosina,
and the fallen angel Rosina.
The fallen angel.
I've got Ali, Hamza, and Olivia and Marin. And so obviously it's not looking pretty. I mean, if they're going to move forward with getting out Olivia, that's not looking pretty good. Ali's not looking pretty good. Hamza, we'll see what happens. I think that I knew drawing randomly for at least half of it, it wasn't going to be a good pick probably. And so I think between the four of us, I think I'm on the lower tier.
You have Veronica?
No, I have Ali,
Marin.
Hamza, Olivia, and Marin.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I know that Marin, he's not doing too well right now. He's kind of staying towards himself a little bit. So
yeah, but he's so useless to get out that it's completely useless to get him out at this point. He's gonna float, I feel, for a long time.
Yeah.
Mid game.
So you guys, my all-star team right now is Kayla, Andrew, rest in peace, Ryan, and Johnny.
I feel like Johnny and Kayla are definitely strong contenders.
Yeah.
Johnny's gonna win the season, so you all.
Okay.
If you say so, then it's gonna happen.
Yeah, like you were right last week.
Hey, you know what though? I do have to say we have strong people because you have Erica, Daniel. I have Paris. You have Johnny, and then you have Hamza. So
is he like
Hamza.
I don't know. I guess he's the strongest out of the four, but I wouldn't necessarily call him like a power player.
Well, I mean, he's one of the wild cards, so
yeah, he's an interesting wild card, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you as this question. Do you think Hamza is going to make it to jury? And if you do think he's going to make it to jury, how do you think he makes his decision in the end? I'm really curious about this.
Well, considering I have no idea who's going to be final two.
Right.
I would really hope that you know what? He's going to go for the person that made the biggest moves. Okay. That's what like. If he makes it to jury, I think that he's going to go for the person that makes the biggest moves because that's what he values in the game, and so that's what he would want to see for the winner to represent BB Can.
I agree.
I think he does make it to jury.
Okay.
I feel like he is going to make it to jury. 2 weeks ago, never would have said that, but
he's
seeing these couple weeks of him being in the house. I think he'll make it to jury.
What do you guys think, Lou, Kelly? What do you think he'll make it to jury?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No faith.
I'm sorry. It'd be nice, but you know what? He has started to change his gameplay. I need to think about him post this week rather than how he was last week. So you know what? I am going to agree with you guys. I will not be the dissenting vote this week.
Yeah.
Oh, sad.
I'll say, okay, I'm going to make the bold prediction because that's how I live my life.
Oh, right.
I'm going to say that he's going to make jury, and not only that, he's going to make a Final Four.
Oh.
Yay.
Ooh, Final Four.
Yeah.
Random predictions that mean nothing. Go!
No, I mean...
I choose Jesse!
No, because... And I'll tell you why. I think he's got a little bit of social capital in the game, and I think if he's smart, he can grab either one of the showmances or one of the outsiders and be like, "Hey, let's unite and make a Final Four deal, and then let's all be nice and chummy." And I feel like he could potentially do that.
I agree. I can't wait to do a feeds recap episode before Monday. I mean, I feel like what's today? Thursday. I mean, we could hit through the weekend, so it'd be cool.
Yeah.
To just kind of see what's going on in the feeds. It'd be fun. I feel like it's going to be an interesting. I don't know why. I feel like things are going to change in the house now, as Big Brother always changes. So I'm excited.
Lou, I'm so afraid. I'm so afraid because Lou knows who won HOH. So I'm curious.
I do too. We all know except for you.
We all know except for you.
Wait, you guys looked it up?
No, I mean I saw on the feeds, but.
Oh.
We'll talk
Okay.
about it after the show. All right,
Okay.
you guys.
Yeah, we'll catch you up. And I think for the feed recaps, we're gonna go like 2 and 2, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna have like 2 of us talking about and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, feed recaps are coming. Spoiler stuff will galore. It'll be
Yeah.
great if you love spoilers. If you
Yeah.
don't watch the shorter videos. We'll have spoiler warnings. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll put a spoiler warning in the description for sure.
Awesome.
No one reads that. We'll put it on the title. No one
Okay.
reads the description. We'll put it on the title. We're sorry. We almost
Everybody,
failed you.
everyone should read the descriptions. They're very important, guys. Read the
And-
descriptions.
And they're funny sometimes. Apparently, I just recovered from black lung.
Yeah,
So-
you did. Congratulations.
Congratulate me. Thank you. It's very difficult to do that, by the way. Anyways.
I know, that's why you were recovering.
Yeah. We're good.
I am hocked up on cough medicine right now. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kidding.
So
Awesome.
if you don't want to watch the or listen to the spoilers, then we will be back on Monday, right?
Yes.
Correct.
With
With
our
our
episode recap for HOH for whoever it is.
Awesome.
Woo, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm pumped for this week. It'll be fun.
Yes. Till we meet
Okay,
again.
so we are out of here. Bye, guys.
Later.
Bye.